Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, in this tutorial we're gonna work this stitch. It's a very easy stitch, one row repeat. The stitch is reversible front and back. I think I did this stitch on my other channel, Natty. I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago. I think I did this stitch, but from what I remember I went through the stitch, not the back loop. This one is through the back loop, so I wanted to see how it looks. So if some of you like this this stitch, give it a try. These are the sides, yeah, but I will suggest when you do the sides, we're gonna start with the slip stitch. So if you one row you do a loose slip stitch, the other row you might make it tighter. This is not gonna be the same. Yeah, it's gonna kind of come like this. Yeah, so just be aware, because we're gonna start with the slip stitch, we're gonna finish with the slip stitch. So when we work the slip stitch with this stitch, try to make it a little bit loose, yeah, otherwise it's gonna be really hard to get in. So with this stitch we're gonna chain even numbers. I have here 12, so after we chain, you can start directly into the chain the stitch, or you can do one row of single crochet, which I'm gonna do a one row of single crochet. So we're gonna skip the first chain, and into the second chain from the hook we're gonna do a single crochet, and in each chain we're gonna do single crochet. You can start the stitch after I show you the next row. You can start directly through the chain. You don't need to do this first row of single crochet, but I think it's nice to have a nice edge. So if you're gonna do this for a scarf or whatever you choose to do, if you like to have the first and last row single crochet, that would be nice. Okay, so the last chain, single crochet, chain one, turn your work, and now you're gonna end up with odd number of stitches. Yeah, so the first stitches here, the way I did it before, I just went through the stitch on my other channel, but this time I'm gonna go through the back loop. Yeah, so we're gonna start with a slip stitch, yeah, yarn over the hook, the next stitch also through the back loop. We always gonna work through the back loop with this stitch. We're gonna do a half double crochet, and we're gonna alternate like this. The next stitch, slip stitch. So when you finish the half double crochet, this chain, leave it a little bit loose. Yeah, so the next is gonna be a slip stitch, because this is gonna be the stitch that next row you're gonna go work through the back loop. So if it's too tight, you're gonna struggle. Yeah, so yarn over the hook, the next stitch, half double crochet. Yeah, so again this one, leave it a little bit loose. Next stitch through the back loop, slip stitch. Next stitch also through the back loop, half double crochet. Next stitch, slip stitch, and so on. We're gonna alternate like this, and you're gonna finish. You started with the slip stitch, you're gonna finish with a slip stitch. So we have here 2 stitches left. So the next stitch is half double crochet, and the last stitch it's slip stitch. So it's gonna look like this one side, and the other side looks like that. So again you're gonna chain one, and you're gonna repeat the row, the same row. The first stitch is here through the back loop. So you see here, leave it a little bit loose, this one. So the back loop, the first stitch, slip stitch, yarn over the hook, the next stitch, half double crochet. Next, because you're gonna work through the slip stitch, you're gonna do a slip stitch into the stitch that you did before, which is the slip stitch. So if it's too tight, it's gonna be difficult to go in. So next one, it's half double crochet, So you're gonna do a slip stitch on top of the slip stitch from the previous row and a half double crochet on top of the half double crochet from the previous row. So this is the, and I suggest, and now depends how you, if you like a dense stitch, then you work with the crochet hook that the yarn recommends. This yarn recommends that I should use 5.0 millimeter crochet hook, but I'm working with a 5.5. Unless you like to do, you know yourself to do the slip stitch loose. Otherwise, go with a half number bigger, a little bit. So you just alternate like this. So the last 2 stitches, we're gonna do the stitch before the last half double crochet, and we're gonna finish with the slip stitch. So again, chain 1, turn your work, and you're gonna repeat the row. The first stitch is here, slip stitch. Leave this a little bit loose, and then the next stitch through the back loop only, half double crochet, next stitch, slip stitch, and so on. It's a very easy stitch. You can do a beautiful scarf if you like. I like with this stitch to work a little bit loose, not so, textured the stitch. But if you like a little bit denser, then use the exact crochet hook that the yarn recommends. So the last stitch through the back loop, slip stitch, and you're going to chain 1, you're going to turn your work, and you're going to repeat. It's a very easy, fast stitch. It's just, for those of you that are beginners, you'll have to know exactly how a slip stitch looks when you finish the stitch or the half double crochet. In case you put the work down and you attend some other things to do, when you come back you will say, oh, which one is it? Yeah. So yeah, this is the stitch. It's a very easy, fast going stitch. It might not eat so much yarn, not much yarn. So for those of you that yarn is expensive and you don't have much, you can use this stitch. You can do many things. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.